All right, let's talk about one of the biggest financial moves you'll probably ever make, buying a home. It's super exciting, right? But man, it can also get really complex really fast. And you know what? A lot of it comes down to just one person, your mortgage loan originator, or MLO for short. So in this explainer, we're going to figure out how to make sure that person is a real guide, someone who's actually on your team.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you the confidence to navigate this whole thing. First, we'll talk about just how high the stakes are. Then, we'll look at what makes an ethical co-pilot. After that, we'll dive into the actual laws that have your back. Then comes the fun part, the red flags you need to spot. And we'll wrap it all up with the one big idea, the bottom line, that changes everything. Okay, so you're ready. You're dreaming about paint colors, new furniture, making a place totally yours. It's an awesome feeling. But then, bam, the mortgage process hits you. Suddenly it's all applications, interest rates, and a ton of jargon that can make anyone's head spin, no matter how ready you thought you were. And that brings us right to the big question, doesn't it? With all that excitement in the air, how do you actually know the whole process is safe? How can you be sure you're getting a fair shake? Well, the answer really boils down to who you pick to guide you through this maze. Think about it like this. Who's in the cockpit with you? Your mortgage loan originator, your MLO, they're supposed to be your co-pilot on this massive journey. But here's the thing, not all of them are flying with your best interests at heart. And finding one who actually is, well, that's pretty much everything. And this really breaks it down perfectly. You've basically got two types of people you can run into. On one side, you have the ethical guide. This is the person who actually listens, who's thinking about your financial future, not just the next 30 days. They're all about fair treatment. But on the other side, you've got the high-pressure salesperson. They're just thinking about their commission. They might even try to steer you into a loan that's better for them, not for you. Just understanding that this choice exists is your first, best line of defense. Now, the good news is you're not totally on your own here, not by a long shot. There's a whole playbook of laws, actual consumer protection laws, that were designed specifically to keep this entire process fair and transparent. You've got rights, and these rules are here to make sure they're respected. Okay, first up is something called the SAFE Act. Now, the key takeaway here is the NMLS ID. Seriously, think of it like a license plate for your MLO. It's a unique number, and you can just pop it into a website to check if they're legit, if they're actually licensed, and if they have any black marks on their record. It's such a simple but really powerful little background check you can do in minutes. All right, next we have TILA, and TILA is all about one thing, transparency. It's the law that makes lenders show you the annual percentage rate, the APR. And listen, this is a big deal because the APR is way more than just the interest rate. It bundles in all the other fees and costs, so you get the true cost of the loan. It's what lets you actually compare different offers, apples to apples. So here it is, all pulled together. You've got the SAFE Act to make sure your MLO is licensed. You've got TILA for honest pricing. You've got the Fair Housing Act, which is crucial for preventing discrimination. And then there's the Dodd-Frank Act. That's the big one that came out of the 2008 financial crisis to add a ton more protections. All of these together, they're basically your legal shield. But look, laws are great on paper, but you still need to know how to spot trouble in the real world, right? So how can you tell if you're dealing with a bad actor? Let's get into the specific red flags you absolutely have to watch out for. Okay, this one is huge. If you ever hear the words guaranteed approval, run. Seriously, no legitimate MLO can promise you a loan is approved before an underwriter has gone through every single detail of your finances. It's just not how it works. This is almost always a bait and switch tactic to just get you hooked. Oh yeah, the old classic. You have to sign today. Anytime you feel that pressure, that urgency, it's a major red flag. A good offer isn't going to vanish overnight. They're doing this for one reason, to stop you from thinking, from reading the fine print, and from shopping around. Don't fall for it. A decision this important should never be rushed. Here's another one. Oh, don't worry about the fees. What? An ethical MLO wants you to understand exactly what you're paying for, down to the penny. If they brush off your questions about fees or get all vague and confusing, that's your sign to be very, very careful. They should be able to walk you through every single line item, no problem. I know you've seen these, the fancy letters in the mail that scream, "You're pre-approved." You gotta be skeptical of these. A lot of the time, they're just clever ads made to look like you've already been given a loan. It's a classic form of misleading advertising. And yeah, it's a prohibited practice for a very good reason. And last but not least, a super simple but absolutely critical rule. If it is not in writing, it did not happen, period. Any promise about your rate, your fees, anything, it has to be documented.
When we're talking about this much money, a verbal promise is worth absolutely nothing.
So all these laws we talked about, all these red flags, they all point to one single core idea. This is the bottom line. It's the ultimate test you should use to judge any MLO you're even thinking about working with.
And that idea is something called fiduciary duty. It sounds fancy, but it's simple. It's a legal and ethical requirement to act in the best financial interest of another person. It's not just about being a nice person. It is a professional standard, and it's the highest one there is.
And this quote really says it all, doesn't it? MLOs must act as fiduciaries, prioritizing the consumer's financial well-being over their own profit. That's it. That's the whole game. Their job is to put your financial health first, even before their own paycheck. It's the absolute non-negotiable foundation for any ethical MLO. So as you head out on this incredible journey of buying a home, you have to ask yourself one final question. When you choose your MLO, are you hiring a guide or just a salesperson? Because the answer to that question will make all the difference in the world.